Alright people, what's going on? This is your boy Lou, this is Wrestling 2-1-1, be coming at you. This is my thoughts, my good and the bad on WWE Vengeance 2011. First pay-per-view Vengeance that they've had in quite a while, so they're bringing it back. Was it good? Was it bad? What was the plus and the minuses of this show? If you didn't see the show, well then you haven't watched anyone else's review and you haven't read it online somewhere, you're about to find out right now. Alright, the first match in this card was a tag match. You had Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger take on Air Boom. Now, I will say this: as big as a fan I am of Evan Bourne, I really thought it would have been a better idea here for Air Boom to lose the belts. I know they haven't had him for a long time, but me personally, I'm glad that that they've got Evan Bourne doing something. And I'm glad at least that Kofi's involved in something to an aspect. They're going to give him some kind of belt, because he's the ultimate mid-carder for them. But ultimately, Ziggler really needed this win. I was really hoping that he would have had a chance to hold both the tag titles and the U.S. title at the same time, like The Miz did before he won Money in the Bank and cashed in to win the WWE Championship. They could have did it similar with Dolph. Now, that was just my prediction. It didn't happen, but the match itself was still great. On the other side of it, I am an Evan Bourne mark, and I do like Kofi, so I'm glad that they retained the belts in that sense. And at least in the sense that in the next match, the WWE redeemed themselves, because the next match was Ziggler versus Ryder. It happened right after the tag match, and you had Air Boom banned from ringside for throwing, Dolph Ziggler back into the ring at one point. You had Vicky at ringside, Swagger was there, and of course, Ryder's not going to win here. Ryder is not over, okay, people? I'm sorry. He may be over with some YouTube fans, but he's not over with the majority of wrestling fans, so not even all the casual fans. Didn't win. Okay, Ziggler retains his belt. And this just makes Ziggler look strong. And it wasn't even like, Ryder was even that much of an opponent for him. He pretty much defeated him pretty easily. Still, it was a good match. Like I said, I didn't expect Ryder to go over here. They need to build up Ryder's character some more. Even though he's got his YouTube show, it doesn't help his on-air character on the show Raw itself, or SmackDown itself, okay? He needs to be able to be a character on TV, too. WWE really hasn't given him that chance. Well, they've given him a little bit, not a whole lot. They need to give him more airtime, more time on the mic, things of that nature. Things will improve, so... But once again, good match. They went out there. They put on another. It was a good outing. I'm not going to complain. Right person went over, so that was good. All right, the next segment is a Triple H CM Punk backstage segment, basically making sure they're on the same page. Yada yada yada. I thought it seemed like there was a little bit of friction between the two, just a little bit, and it might have maybe just shown a little bit of a Triple H heel turn, possibly on CM Punk later on in the night. And I'll get to that later because obviously things were not like I thought they were going to be, but that's okay. Once again, I still enjoyed the show. It's still a good show. But let me go on and continue with the card here. Alright, the next match, actually before the next match, we get a pre-tape with Kelly and Eve fighting the Divas of Doom, or Divas of Salvation, whatever they're called now. Leading into the match between Eve Torres and Beth Phoenix. And for once, I'm not going to sit here and bash the Divas division. I'm going to say something good about it. So people, if you don't want to hear me praise the Divas, just, mute the video real quick. And then, I'll put up my hand when I'm done talking about the Divas. Alright, the next segment was like a backstage pre-tape type thing between Kelly, Eve, and they get into it with the Divas of Salvation, Divas of Doom, whatever you want to call them. Me personally, I've lost all faith in the Divas division, so going into this match, I wasn't expecting much at all. I was expecting this to be very bad. Eve Torres was in it, so I was like, yeah. But I gotta kind of have to eat my words. This match was a lot better than I thought it was. Granted that Beth is a great in-ring worker, it takes two people in the ring to pull a lot of the stuff these people in the business do. Any wrestler, any move practically requires two people to do it in a sense. So it just showed in this match that Eve does have an idea of what she's doing. I think the match was good. It was a lot better than anything that Kelly had with Beth Phoenix, and it was better than a lot of Divas matches that I've seen in recent time. Might be taking a long shot in the dark here, but this might be one of the better matches I've seen since Lay Cool has been gone. So, I mean, that for me is huge, you know, because that's the last time I can remember ever seeing a decent women's match. So I'm glad that we're having, I don't know, at least something of showing that the Divas division isn't complete shit, and when, you know, Vince will let them go out there, they can actually put on a good match that doesn't put people to sleep. There's just a bunch of hair pulling, you know what I'm saying? Now, I still do think that the WWE needs to take a lot of these girls, you know, and throw them back in a developmental or something, you know, get some actual women's wrestlers and not just, you know, models per se. But considering the benefit of the doubt that she's nothing but a Barbie doll to me, and that's all she'll ever be as far as I'm concerned, for this one match, until she makes me say otherwise and proves me wrong, I'll give her this once. It was a good match. After this, we have a Big Show backstage, you know, segment, you know, talking about facing Henry and whatnot later on in the evening. Now, I spoke about this before. I'm very happy with the way they've built up this match. It's been built up for quite a while, a lot more than 3 weeks. This is before Night of Champions. So, I'm very glad that they're running through with this. Good job, WWE, once again. So far, I got nothing to really complain about in the show. Alright, following an advertisement for a Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Montreal Screwjob DVD thing, you know, talking about their careers, and they both sit down with JR or whatever goes on. Very interesting. I love Bret Hart. Love Michaels. Bret Hart, mark out moment. Michaels, mark out moment. Okay, but really? Announce it on the pay-per-view? When more people were just going to watch Raw on free TV, why don't you just wait till announce it till then? I'm just saying, I think it was just a little bit of wasted airtime. That's my opinion. One of the only truly real bad things about this show. Christian versus Sheamus was the next match. And I'll say this, I know Christian lost, and I don't care. I think they're doing a great job with him. He goes out there and looks good with whoever he's going against. Okay, he doesn't look like he just gets his ass beat and thrown away. Okay, he's a bitch for people to beat. He really is. He goes out there and he hands their ass to them, and every time he goes out there, he goes on and puts on a match. In my opinion, this is the best match of the night. Just me personally, I always enjoy Christian's work. I think Christian is one of the most talented wrestlers on that whole roster. He can go out there and do so many different moves. You know, he's very unique in the way he pulls things off. He doesn't do things the same way all this freaking time, okay? He's actually a talented wrestler the company has. And even though I wish they would give him a push, I think right now his job of helping put other guys over, because he's such a good of a wrestler himself, and he's good on the mic and full of all this charisma and shit, he just helps the guys he's putting over look very good. And with Randy Orton, that wasn't necessary, but with Sheamus here, I can't complain. Ultimately, Sheamus is going to face Mark Henry for the belt anyway. It has to happen. It has to. It would be perfect. So, I'm not going to complain about the match. Sheamus won. Christian looked good. The match itself went a decent distance. Maybe it was a little bit too long in a sense, but it was still a good match. It was very enjoyable. No complaints here. Miz and R-Truth argue with Laurinaitis for a minute, and then they argue with each other about who's the bigger suck-up. Wow. After this, we get an extended video package, pretty long video package. All the video packages are really long tonight, but they were well presented, so I guess I won't complain about the video packages. The video package for CM Punk and Triple H versus The Awesome Truth. And then we had the match itself. I am very happy. I am thrilled right now that Triple H, God, and Jesus Walks has lost. Now, granted that the win really wasn't clean, essentially, because Kevin Nash did come back here, and he took out Triple H. CM Punk got pinned, and then Triple H eventually got power bombed, or yeah, jackknife power bombed in the ring by Kevin Nash. I knew Kevin Nash was coming back. I knew he was in cahoots with something. They're still not revealing that Kevin Nash is in cahoots with Laurinaitis and The Miz and R-Truth and even Vince McMahon. And I still think Triple H is involved in this, and it's going to happen later on down the line. Can't prove it. God damn it. Makes sense. Doesn't it? If Kevin Nash is going to keep doing all these run-ins, I know granted he's been fired kayfabe for a while, but another run-in, okay? And Laurinaitis is the one that rehired him originally and all this bullshit, okay? And Triple H was originally thought to be in the conspiracy, you know, because CM Punk believed it to be so, which I still think he is in the conspiracy. God only knows, and time will see. The match itself, like I said, it was a good match. It wasn't a great match. It was definitely not the best match on the card. It was Triple H doing a signature move fest. CM Punk and, you know, Miz and R-Truth did their best, I think, to try to carry the match a little bit. But the match itself, that's what it was. It was good. I just wish they would just announce the whole NWO 4.0, brother, already. Now, for the time being, since we're not getting the NWO 4.0, brother, we're going to get, more than likely, a match between Triple H and Kevin Nash at Survivor Series. So, there you go. So, we are getting some movement already going into Survivor Series and whatever. So, there you go. So, they did a good job there, too. They didn't announce the match, but it's more than likely going to happen. Now, like I said, I enjoyed this show. I really did. And there's only a couple of things I could really complain about. I've already complained about one way earlier in the video. The CM Punk Triple H thing, I'm not complaining about. I just want them to give us the NWO 4.0, brother. Or I messed up the hand sign. You can't see me. You can't see my hand sign either. Even though I want it, just because they've been hinting at it for so long, I'm not mad that, you know, it didn't go that way. I'm not. I enjoyed the match, and it is setting up for apparently what looks to be Kevin Nash vs. Triple H Survivor Series. So I wasn't ranting about that. I want to get that off the chest. What I am about to rant about is the next match. That's right. Alright, so the love child of Terminator and RoboCop versus Cody Rhodes. This is what it is. There was no reason for Cody Rhodes to lose here. Not only did Cody Rhodes lose, Randy Orton kicked out of his finisher. Did Cody Rhodes kick out of his? No. Didn't happen. What did this do for Randy Orton? Tell me. Somebody tell me what it did for him. Really. For all you Randy Orton marks out there that love Randy Orton so much, what did this do for Randy Orton? Was it for the belt? The loss wasn't going to hurt Orton. Look how many times he's been fucking champion. How many times he's won. This would have did nothing for Orton if he would have lost. Doesn't help him that he won. Didn't help him any. It wasn't going to hurt him if he would have lost. But guess what? It hurts Cody Rhodes because he lost. Because he's never held the damn belt. He's on top. Why did he lose here? He's been built so well in this storyline against Randy Orton. This whole thing has been done, in my opinion, very well for what WWE has been doing the last 4, 5, 6 years. They've been doing a great job with the story as far as I'm concerned. It's been a very good story. Okay? It actually means something because they were in Legacy together, so they have history. But why would you even do this? Just to have Cody Rhodes lose? And people don't tell me there's a bigger picture. There's no fucking bigger picture. No one fucking tell me that. People said that with Christian. What happened to Christian? Whatever little glimmer of hope, okay, that anybody had in Cody Rhodes, including myself, has completely just been, that little candlelight has been put out. It's out. That's it. He's done. He's over. Okay? The whole gimmick change and all this crap they've been doing and all this shit, you know, giving the IC belt and having them change out the new one for the classic belt and all this, and you have him put the bag over Orton's head. He actually beat Orton not too long ago on a SmackDown, if I'm not mistaken, or was it a Raw? I don't even remember anymore. Okay, it's one of the Super Shows. Why did you have to give Randy Orton the win? Just because Mark Henry walked all over him. Randy Orton needed to redeem himself. He's like, no, I have to win. If I don't win, I'm going to quit. Because I'm not good. Because they'll do whatever I want. Because I'm their biggest ass kicker. I know for damn sure that the WWE had all these plans in putting Cody Rhodes over here. But what made them stop? They were hinting at it. What made them stop the follow through? I don't understand. I'm very confused. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. I'm just in complete shock and disbelief over the fact that Randy Orton won this match. Once again, it doesn't help him, just hurts Cody Rhodes. If I didn't already say it, the match was decent. Cody Rhodes did most of the work. It was an okay match. Just wrong person won. After this, it's announced that The Rock will be wrestling at Survivor Series, and for all you people that are behind The Rock and all this, good for you. I can care less. I'm sorry, people. My opinion has still not changed. There's a certain person out there that argued with me for a while. It was great going back and forth. It was very, very, very interesting to hear his points, and I argued mine. Of course, we never change others' minds. I wouldn't be surprised if this man leaves me another comment, which I have no problem debating it. It was very fun. It was entertaining. My opinions of The Rock have not changed. If any of you have seen my previous videos on what I think of The Rock, I need to say nothing else. Okay? I don't think he should be wrestling at WrestleMania. I don't care that he's at Survivor Series. Care less. Alright, the next match probably had the mark out moment of the night for the entire crowd, because this crowd sucked entirely. Shit crowd. It was Big Show versus Mark Henry. They had a great video package beforehand, and the match itself, for two big guys, they were doing power moves. Good match for two big guys out of their prime. I'm not going to complain. And it was a great finish, because Mark Henry didn't lose. Big Show didn't lose. But Mark Henry still looked good, because Mark Henry was the only one to walk out of it. Big Show got carted out. Mark Henry walked off. Barely, but he walked off. And what happened, for those of you that haven't seen or heard, you had another superplex of the Big Show. And the only other one that's ever been that I can remember was back in 2003 with Brock Lesnar when the ring broke. The ring broke again. The only difference is that Lesnar's was a top turnbuckle superplex, and you had Henry do it from the second turnbuckle. Now, obviously, the ring, just like back then, people don't want to believe it, but it was actually rigged to give out. I don't care what anybody says. It was nothing but script, okay? They had Big Show get carted out, and then you had Mark Henry strongly try to walk off and whatnot. He kept falling, but eventually he was up, this and that. It just made him look strong. The ring gave out, the match didn't finish, which is going to continue the rivalry, which is good, which helps, further Mark Henry's run as champion, okay? And it helps Mark Henry's run as champion, because now he looks strong against the Big Show, because he didn't lose, and he didn't get dominated. And he walked off. Barely, but he walked off. Big Show couldn't walk away from the ring. So I think they did a good job here. And I was wondering why Triple H and CM Punk versus the Awesome Truth wasn't the final match of the card. And now I know why. Because they would have to wrestle in a broken ring. And that wasn't going to happen. The only way it would make sense is in the next match. Because in the next match, it doesn't matter. Because it's last man standing. There's no disqualifications, none of that. Everything is legal. So, the next match we have John Cena versus Alberto Del Rio, last man standing match. And I have to say, people, I knew Del Rio was going to win here just because it wasn't an I Quit match. If it was an I Quit match, John Cena would have won. Now, I would see if there was ever a rematch between the two. John Cena would probably go for the I Quit match, or WWE would book it that way. And then, of course, Del Rio would lose the belt. But since it wasn't an I Quit match, Del Rio, he won. Now, The Miz and R-Truth did interfere in the match. Okay, and that's basically why Del Rio won. So, he didn't win in the most credible way. But in the same sense, this is a no disqualification match. So, technically, credibility is thrown out the window as far as I'm concerned. And he won. And John Cena has no more title shots. He shouldn't, as far as I'm concerned. Now, I'm making this video before Raw on Monday, so I really I'm not sure yet if he's going to get another shot or not, but I would hope not. That was his rematch. No more rematches, please. Del Rio won. He went over Cena. He's over. Leave it that way. Alright, people. Final grades. Based upon the show itself, there's only 3 gripes I have. Shitty crowd. Number 1. Who can argue with me? It means a lot to have a good crowd at a wrestling event. It really does. Number 2. Cody Rhodes losing. I already explained my thoughts on that. I'm not going to go over it again. And number 3, whatever. Number 3, Del Rio, John Cena having outside interference from Miz and R-Truth, not because it helped Del Rio win, and Del Rio didn't win cleanly because it's it's a no DQ match because it's last man standing, but because all it did was help further the conspiracy theory storyline, which means that Triple H and CM Punk did not need to be in the main event. That it was still about the conspiracy theory at the end of the show, which meant it was still all about Triple H, God, and Jesus. Because that's how it is, brother. But considering, like I said before, I enjoyed the show. B- show. It gets a B+ in wrestling. It gets a solid C in booking. There you go. If Randy Orton would have lost and the crowd would have been a little bit better, I would have gave the show an A. But B-. What did you guys think of the show? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was the worst show in history? One of the best shows in history? Did you think it was mediocre? Did you think it was... I don't know. What do you think about it? Let me know. This is your boy Lou, Wrestling Tube 101. I said leave it all below, people. Hit that subscribe button if you already have not. I'll be at you later on. Peace.